It started as a routine home renovation, a simple, quiet house in rural Pennsylvania, bought by a young couple who wanted to turn it into their dream home. But what they discovered inside the walls wasn't a dream. It was a record of every single sound, voice, and movement that had ever occurred inside the house. Hidden inside the plaster were hundreds of old micro-cassette recorders, all still running, and all synchronized. Each one captured a different angle of sound. The creak of footsteps, the whisper of the faint laughter of children that no one had ever seen. When the tapes were restored, what they heard didn't just tell a story. It told a warning. The first tape began at 2:17 a.m., dated October 14th, 1998. It was a low hum. Then a door creaked open. A woman's voice whispered, "He's here again." No other context, just static. Then, a sound of something dragging on the floor. When investigators enhanced the audio, they realized the dragging wasn't from furniture. It was breathing. Slow, deep, rhythmic, like something waiting just outside the recorder's range. Every tape that followed had the same thing. A presence, a pulse, as if the house itself was alive and breathing. The builder's secret. Records showed the house was built by a man named Henry Gull, a sound engineer for a radio station in the 1970s. He was obsessed with what he called acoustic memory, the belief that sound could imprint itself into the walls of a room if recorded long enough. Neighbors described him as quiet, brilliant, and increasingly paranoid. He once told a delivery man, "If you listen long enough, the house starts listening back." Henry vanished in 1983. The property remained unsold for almost 20 years. The tapes get stranger. By the third day of analysis, investigators notice something terrifying. Each tape had a timestamp 5 minutes into the future. If you played a recording from 2 a.m., the sounds matched what would happen at 2:05 a.m. They tested it again and again. Every single time, the recordings predicted the future by exactly 5 minutes. One night, one of the researchers stayed in the house to test it himself. He set a recorder at 11 p.m., pressed play, and waited. The tape played a faint knock on the door. He waited. 5 minutes later, someone knocked. He opened the door. Nobody there. But on the porch was a new tape recorder, identical to the others, still worn from being used. The lost room during renovation, the couple found a sealed door behind a bookshelf. It led to a soundproof chamber, lined with microphone cables and decayed cassette reels. In the center, a wooden chair facing a wall of speakers. On the back of the chair, deep claw marks. Above it, written in black marker, the words, "I finally heard it." When they played the final tape found inside that room, they heard their own voices from earlier that day. But the timestamp showed the recording was made 2 weeks before they ever moved in. The government interest after the discovery went viral online. The FBI quietly removed the tapes. They said it was for data integrity. But the couple's lawyer later revealed a classified note attached to the case file. It read, "Site correlates with previously observed acoustic anomalies. Maintain surveillance." When journalists tried to revisit the property a month later, it was gone. Not burned. Not demolished. Gone. The GPS coordinates now pointed to an empty field. The street no longer existed on Google Maps. The reconstruction project a year later, an anonymous YouTube channel named EchoFrame uploaded what looked like a digital recreation of the house. 3D renders, each room perfectly reconstructed. But viewers noticed something off. The sound from the videos wasn't ambient. It was layered. We boosted the audio frequencies. You could hear whispers hidden beneath the soundtrack. One voice stood out. "You're not supposed to be here." The channel went dark 72 hours later. All videos deleted. The final message last year, a Reddit user claimed to have found a mislabeled cassette at a thrift store. One of the lost Echo tapes. They uploaded the audio. It was faint, distorted, and full of static. At the 9-minute mark, you can hear a man whisper, "Stop listening." Then, silence. Spectral analysis revealed a faint pattern in the noise, a pulse, repeating every 5 seconds. When converted to binary, It spelled out coordinates. Those coordinates pointed to the same empty field where the house once stood. The sound that never dies. Sound doesn't disappear. It travels, bounces, decays, but it never truly dies. Scientists call it residual vibration, but those who've heard the tapes have another name for it: the memory of the walls. If you ever find an old tape recorder at a yard sale, don't press play, because you might not just hear the past. You might hear what's about to happen next. If this story chilled you to the bone, hit subscribe, because this is just one of many true files buried beneath silence. Next episode, The Voice in the Static, a radio signal that never stopped broadcasting. Subscribe now before the next upload vanishes like the house did.